Good morning, Lincoln, Nebraska. That is my best Bill Hooks impression, and it's the only one I'm going to give you because that felt like it was going to hurt my voice. Elijah Herbal, YZ, Justice Rhodey hanging out with you here on a Thursday edition of the Morning Hookup. Bill Hooks, member guest? I believe that's what we were dealing with here. I think it was member guest here for Bill Hooks. So he's on the golf course today. We're going to be hanging out with you instead, and we got plenty to get into. Fellas, how we doing? Good morning. Good to see both of you fellas. Caleb, bold of you to be wearing a Boston Red Sox helmet or Boston Red Sox hat.
He should be wearing a helmet. He's catching a lot of strays these days. You got to watch out. There's a lot of attempts from Yankee fans to undermine the confidence of those in Beantown.
And there's one from me right here too. I'm not sure. Is there reason for confidence?
I mean, even with how bad the team is, you gotta show support. Even in the darkest days, you gotta ride with your team.
By the way, thank you for Blaze Jordan for half a season of Steven Matz. We'll get into that later, but
and Dustin May.
Justice, you come out firing. How are you doing this morning?
No, I'm doing all right. We woke up. I just rolled out of bed and I said, "Yep, we're just going to start the day with a little confidence." So we rolled out. We got the Moxie going a little bit early. Nothing but water. I mean, we're going nothing but straight gas right away out of the tank. We're coming out of the bullpen pumping 95. So feeling good, ready to talk some sports. We got some great topics on deck today. The Lincoln Salt Dogs had a guy get tossed last night, and then he tossed a first bet. We can get into that later again, but a lot of fun stuff happened in the world of sports.
Yeah, Salt Dogs, in terms of coaches getting tossed, they've been on a bit of a heater recently. I believe that's at least 2, if not 3, in the past week.
Oh, there was another one? I thought that was the same video.
I think there's been multiple.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Old Frisbee's getting tossed around more than his namesake on a disc golf course. Better watch out.
But where we start, let us start on the baseball diamond here, fellas. College World Series, the championship has been set. And it's close. I did mention yesterday how it felt like we haven't had any winner-go-home Thursday games in a long time at the Men's College World Series. Well, the trend continues this year. Oklahoma and North Carolina, both pretty ho-hum yesterday as they cruised to victories. Oklahoma last night goes BTA on Georgia, sending the Dogs home. And then you have North Carolina, the dominant pitching continues. They get a win to eliminate the Mountaineers yesterday up in Omaha. It's going to be North Carolina and Oklahoma for a Men's College World Series crown. I was hoping we'd have some excitement today. I really was.
I was hoping
But
too
alas.
because I pre-purchased tickets and now those are being refunded to me as there are no games today. I didn't get to go up to Omaha this year, but today was the plan, and now I definitely won't be able to.
Is this just a ho-hum College World Series final to you guys? I have little to no excitement about this because I have zero vested interest. I mean, would it be cool to see North Carolina win one? Yeah, I don't really have any.
They don't play an exciting brand of baseball, though. North Carolina, no offense, Bill Hooks, if you're out there listening, it's kind of bland baseball. It's winning baseball, don't get me wrong. Pitching, defense, just enough hitting. That's kind of how they're constructed. They don't have much pop in the lineup, but, man, they have some great pitching, and they have that defense behind that pitching staff that takes care of their pitchers. It's the simplest formula to winning baseball. They've done it very, very well this year. So you have that. Oklahoma on the other side, they are hot. The bats are hot for Oklahoma. It's an interesting stylistic matchup, but I'm with you. Generally speaking, this College World Series as a whole has kind of been ho-hum. And the College World Series is always a great thing to go check out, great thing to get up to the fan zone up there, go hang out, see the area. But from a national interest point of view, and really from an Omaha fever point of view, just not much going with this year. And I think it's partly because you don't have the brands. You don't have an LSU down there. They're so embedded within the College World Series that it just feels a little hollow whenever the LSU fans don't make their way down there. But just generally speaking, it feels like, aside from maybe the West Virginia fan base, just kind of feels like the fan bases for these schools, like they care, but they don't care that much. It's like, oh, cool, we're in Omaha.
Right, so you got a football school and you got a basketball school. That's what you've got. Yeah, that's what you've got in the final of the College World Series. Would this have more excitement if Georgia would have made it? I believe so. I believe
agree.
Because of the brand of baseball that Georgia plays, because of the threat to leave the ballpark at any minute. They've got some exciting pitching. All of those factors come into play when you're talking about making an exciting College World Series final. There isn't the big brands. You think of big SEC, ACC brands. There is no Tennessee. There is no Arkansas. There is no LSU. There is no Virginia right? There is none of those traditional ACC powers. North Carolina's turned themselves into a power, but you've got a team that's traveling all the way from the coast that isn't known for traveling particularly well to coming to Omaha, and then you've got an Oklahoma team that has a fan base that can't be asked to make a 6-hour drive to invade Omaha. And, because like Mitch Sherman pointed out on this Twitter sarcastically, apparently it's so hard for a fan base to travel 6 hours, from Nebraska to Oklahoma to invade a certain location. But I digress.
I do wonder if there's going to be Oklahoma fans making the trek up the interstate tomorrow. If they're going to be making the way up and catching the championship series with no work commitments and things like that. I would hope so. We'll find out.
Well, isn't that a bad optics look? Doesn't that make you look like a bunch of bandwagons?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the point that we've kind of reached on all of this?
A little bit. How are we looking? Have you guys looked up the ticket prices for the championship series?
About $150.
It's cheaper than it's been in years past.
Mm-hmm.
That is very much cheaper than it's been in years past. That's outfield, I assume.
I'm not sure. That's just what I.
Oh, you don't go for the cheap outfield seats, huh?
No, and all these.
I do. Oh, I definitely do.
No, but all these low attendance figure games, they kind of stirred Noah Darling on Twitter. He was talking about maybe it's time to bring back the GA books in the outfield. Maybe it's time to bring back some of those.
It is
time honored. In one of those time honored traditions. Listen, and I get everything's increasingly about money. If you want to put butts in seats and make it a great atmosphere, it might be time to bring back general admission. I mean, it was a core memory for a lot of kids growing up in the Omaha and the Nebraska area. It might just be time. It might just be time if you want to boost attendance figures, because especially if you're not going to get name brands in the College World Series, why not indoctrinate some kids into the world of college baseball by getting them a GA book? That was one of the best presents you could get as a kid this summer.
Or at least have a couple sections open to the outfield, the actual general admission. It hasn't been general admission for what, 4 or 5 years now? Five, since about COVID. I think that COVID is when they made the flip to actual assigned seats out in the outfield. Maybe not the entire outfield, but a couple sections in the outfield need to go back to being true general admission. That's where I'm at, because as you talk, it's like the Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night games. Those are going to be filled to the brim no matter what. And championship series, that's probably going to be pretty full, though. I'm looking here on Ticketmaster. And there are a lot of open seats on Saturday evening. If you want a seat in like the decent spots, the outfield, like middle of the outfield, kind of low, you're going to be looking at 180 to 200. Sit in the outfield. We're looking at if you want lower bowl, kind of behind home plate between the dugouts, we're talking $350, $400. Which is for a championship series. You know what? Fair. You would have to pay $300 for an outfield seat if LSU was playing in the championship series. So, all things considered, this is not bad prices. But yeah, the weekday games this past week, why shouldn't there be general admission for those?
Right, especially like some of the weekday elimination games.
Whatever happened to showing up? It used to be able to show up at Charles Schwab Field. I was too young for Rosenblatt to be able to go by myself and go figure things out. But you used to be able to show up to Charles Schwab Field 10 years ago and just walk around the outfield, and you'd have somebody sitting there with their GA book selling tickets from it, walk in with a $10 bill, get yourself a general admission ticket, walk into the outfield, and go enjoy a College World Series game. It hasn't been like that for a long time.
And I think it's kind of taken away from the mystique and the class and the respect that is deserved of a momentous event like the College World Series. But, I mean, still, you are going to see two really good baseball. If you would have told me going into the NCAA tournament that Omaha was going to be in the College World Series final, I would have called the nearest insane asylum and had them book you a room. Like, that's the kind of run that we were talking about, because if you remember that end of the season for Oklahoma, they drop a couple SEC series. They go, I believe it's one and done in the SEC tournament against a 14-seed LSU. Lost that game 6-2. They get drawn as the number 2 seed in the number 2 overall seeds regional in Atlanta and Georgia Tech. Then they proceed to get hot, slug their way through that regional, bash Kansas and Lawrence, and then go to the College World Series and beat everybody up along their way through the SEC side of the bracket to a College World Series final. If you had told me that was the way that Oklahoma was going to make it through, I would have called you a lunatic. That's what would have happened. North Carolina, they've taken a more traditional route. They had probably the toughest regional out of anybody. Ended up making it through pretty cleanly. Dispatch USC in a hard-fought 3 games, and they get, probably the easier side of the bracket, and they make sure they handle business. And that's the way that they both get here, and they've done it with different styles. But Oklahoma's red hot, man. And if you thought going into this tournament that Georgia was going to be the best hitting team, I guess we were wrong because Oklahoma decided to put their own stake in the ground on that.
Hot as can be. Hot as can be. I mean, dating back to the Kansas Super Regional, which we thought was going to be competitive, Oklahoma made it uncompetitive. They just slugged their way through. But now it's the North Carolina pitching. North Carolina was able to go bullpen game yesterday, which means their starter should be fresh for a championship series.
What's the saying? Unstoppable force versus immovable object.
Mm-hmm.
What comes first, North Carolina's pitching or Oklahoma's offense?
I mean, here's the thing. If it is Jason DeCaro going tomorrow for North Carolina, Oklahoma's going to have a tough time because that kid can pitch. But, I mean, Oklahoma's gotten through with some guys that weren't traditionally part of their starting rotation. Like, they started Cord Rager in their first game, and that was a guy who had not had a lot of starts, and they started freshman Xander Mercurius. They started a couple of freshmen throughout this whole process, and that's been eye-opening. Just you could see how much depth that a lot of these teams have in comparison to some of the teams that maybe you've seen watching throughout the course of this college baseball season. The depth's ridiculous. North Carolina, like, this is going to be really interesting because I wouldn't say North Carolina has the propensity to leave the ballpark at any given minute, but they do have some bats. They do have some real bats who've got double-digit home runs under their belt. I think the way that North Carolina wants to play, wants to be pitching first. It's kind of the way that Scott Forbes has crafted this North Carolina squad, but yeah, it truly will be what breaks first because Oklahoma's shown the propensity to leave the ballpark at any given minute, and they've done it early in ball games and stake themselves to lead. And when they do that, it gives their young guys a lot more confidence to go out there and attack on the mound. I think that's been their recipe to success. So we'll see if they can replicate that. I just, from a national perspective, especially with like the World Cup going on, with other sporting events taking place, I just don't know how much interest there is going to be in the College World Series. I'm sure there's going to be interest. I just don't know if it's going to be to the level of like and LSU Coastal Carolina last year.
What is the magic number for Oklahoma? They score this many runs, they'll win.
5,
4, 5.
I had it at 5, 6, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there. It's not that many for Oklahoma, and their lineup is very capable of doing so. Because North Carolina, not to say they can't put up runs, but they are less comfortable in a high-scoring game. Simply put, where they're comfortable is playing a game at 4-2, 4-3. They love being in those moments. Oklahoma can go put up 5 runs. It could be enough just to put the pressure, put the stress on North Carolina that carries Oklahoma through to a championship. Do we have betting odds here? I would assume there's probably, if you guys were to pick, who do you think the favorite is?
North Carolina.
Probably it's North Carolina. They came in the higher seed.
Not like a crazy favorite. I would say something around, I'd make it minus 175, somewhere around there.
Pretty close. North Carolina is minus 190 for the championship series. Oklahoma plus 155, which I like the value on the side of Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a hot team. They got confidence rolling.
They could very well go out there and get game 1, and then those odds flip just like that.
Now, here's the thing. For the health college baseball, you probably want North Carolina to win this. And the reason is, have you looked at how many SEC champions there's been in just the past 10 years? It's a high number. It's a high number.
9 of the last 10?
Yeah, it's a high number. But so for the health college baseball, you probably want an ACC team to go grab one so you can restore the balance of power a little bit, because not only does that even it out, it evens out the transfer portal, it evens out all that stuff. Because I don't know if you guys have been tracking the NCAA D1 baseball transfer portal. A lot of those guys ended up either staying in the SEC or they're going to the SEC. That's where a lot of these folks are going. But yeah, it's one of those series where you probably want North Carolina to win it just for restoring the health and the balance. But I mean, in the spirit of college baseball, also on the other hand, you probably want Oklahoma to win it because it's like, hey, they were 2 seed. Came into a tough regional, then they managed to just slug their way through it. They got hot. Like, that's what college baseball is all about. And then you look at the roster semantics and you go, okay, this team had a lot of depth and they played in one of the better conferences that you'll see in college baseball. So there's 2 different sides to that coin, but I mean, it should still be a fun series.
And as an aside, Oklahoma still doesn't feel like a full SEC team just yet to me. They're like half SEC, I don't think they've earned the right to be like, oh, that's another SEC champion. It is, and it'll go down in the history books as another SEC champion, but it still doesn't quite feel like it. I get it. Oh, by the way, I did look it up. It is 8 of the last in the last 10 years, there's been 8 SEC champions.
Mm-hmm.
Your exception was Oregon State in 2018, and then you also had Coastal in 2016.
So ever since 2018, there's been a run of SEC champions. That's what you're talking about.
Vandy 2019, no tournament 2020, but then Mississippi State 2021, Ole Miss 2022, LSU 2023, Tennessee 2024, LSU 2025.
Yeah, and some of those are your premier powers of college baseball. And don't forget that OU made a CWS final in 2022. So, I mean, it's not like they haven't been here before. I mean, they had good personnel back then when they were in the Big 12, and they've got even better personnel now. I mean, it's not a lineup deprived of talent. It just doesn't have your name brands attached to it, so I don't think there's going to be as much luster attached to this. But it's two really, really good baseball programs. They ended up making their way into the upper echelon and have certainly staked their claim as some of college baseball's best. And for North Carolina, it's been a build to this point, and for Oklahoma, they've kind of had a meteoric rise under Skip Johnson, what he's done in the Sooner State. So good on both those teams. Good on them for, handling business. You get yourself the extra day of rest, go back at it, and be fresh for a winner-take-all weekend series. It's going to be big time. And, maybe the stands will fill out, maybe they won't, but it should be good baseball nonetheless.
Well, since the COVID pandemic, there's only been, I believe, 2. Because Oklahoma's first year in the SEC was at 23.
I believe so.
So there's been 2 teams not from the SEC even make the championship series. Coastal last year in 2025, and then Oklahoma in 2022. Last 2 non-SEC teams even make the championship. It has been SEC v. SEC otherwise. Tennessee v. Texas A&M in 2024, LSU against Florida in 2023, and then Mississippi State against Vandy in 2021.
It's not like the SEC didn't have their best. Their problem was their best played each other right off the bat in Georgia and Texas. That's the problem. And Ole Miss probably should have ran through their side of the bracket, but you know what happens when you get to the CWS? You play other good teams, and sometimes styles make fights, and it didn't seem like Ole Miss's style was making their fight happen. So there was other good teams, certainly, throughout the course of this tournament. But on the SEC side, I wasn't particularly impressed with a team like Alabama.
No.
I can't say I was. I think Ron Bond's a great coach. I think what he's done there is exceptional after moving over from Maryland.
And it's his first time making the College World Series.
Yeah, so I didn't expect a lot out of them. I was never high on Alabama going into this year. But, you look at Georgia and Texas were 2 of the top teams in the SEC, and you're going, wow, that's real star power. That's real horsepower in this tournament. And maybe if one of those had made the final, maybe you're talking about this series in a little bit different light. But, man, what a job by Oklahoma to battle their way through that side of the bracket and do it unscathed. And beating Georgia twice, that's big time for them. And for North Carolina, they handled their side of the bracket, and they handled it with ease. And that's the way that you got to do these things sometimes, is just make sure that you're all on track when it comes to handling your business and making sure that all of your pitching and all of your available arms are ready to go for a weekend series. So should be still good baseball. It's not going to be bad baseball to watch at all. Just it might not be the fireworks that you would expect from a Georgia or a Texas.
So College World Series Championship Series coming up beginning this weekend, Saturday night up in Omaha. It is Oklahoma. It is North Carolina. That'll do it. Long first segment here talking to College World Series. We've got plenty more to get into. We have some thoughts on Brendan Sorsby. And did Cincinnati know? Apparently, according to his agent, they did. We have that. We have some World Cup thoughts. We'll take a look around the diamond in the MLB. We got a whole lot more coming your way. A Thursday edition of the Morning Hookup rolling your way after this on KFOR.
All right. Yeah, that was just I can't lie, I was not pleased to see Oklahoma make the CWS final. Such a fake fan base. They don't care.
No.
They don't care about anything that isn't football or basketball.
And I'd consider you the expert there, so I'll let you throw all the jabs that you want.
I mean, I know some diehard. There's some diehard OU baseball fans, and they're awesome. There are real people out there who support and love this team. The problem is you're going to get fans like the football and basketball fans who are like, oh, OU baseball is pretty good. It's like, yeah, jackwagons. You should have been tuning in all year when they were actually doing something. Because their series against Tennessee and Oklahoma City was awesome. That was fun to watch.
I said U.S. Open's going down. We had that in the promo.
Yeah.
Leading right now is Jay Nicholas, not Jack, James. 2 under through 6. Brooks Koepka even. Still early. Rory's even through 1. Ooh, and someone's already 6 over through 6. Hamilton Coleman. Yuck.
We want to hit coming back here.
What do you guys think? World Cup quickly? Talk some U.S. because we're not gonna have a show in the morning, so we could talk U.S. Australia.
Yeah, we could talk U.S.
Some quick thoughts, not spend too long on it, and then come back and probably talk MLB.
Yeah. MLB to stay in sports history, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Me and YZ can team up on this day in Yankee hate.
It sucks even more that they're good. I hate it.
With how much money they freaking spend, they better be good.
Judge and Grisham out, and they're still hitting the cover off the wall.
Well, that's what happens when you have Ben Rice on your roster.
Could you crank my audio a little bit?
Is that
there
better?
There we go. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There we go. All right, fellas, here we go.
Welcome back in a Thursday edition of the Morning Hookup. Bill Hook's out today. It's Elijah Herbal, YZ, and Justice Brody rolling with me here today. Plenty of thoughts on a Thursday. As a reminder, no show Friday in honor of Juneteenth. So after today, we'll be back with you on Monday, which means we have plenty to get into today as we preview a big sports weekend. We've previewed the College World Series finals. Oklahoma and North Carolina coming your way this weekend. Trying to figure out who the champion of college baseball will be in 2026. We also have more action going down in the World Cup. And I promise for the folks at home that are still soccer haters, first off, you're missing out. But secondly, we won't spend too long on this as Justice works the phone lines. We'll get there in just a second. But plenty of good World Cup action as every single team has at least played now one game in the group stage. We're on to the second group stage games, a slightly better idea of what to expect and things I want to get into here this segment. Does the U.S. actually have a chance to make a deep run? They had one of the more impressive opening group stage matches. They play Australia tomorrow, so we'll get a little bit better of an idea. Spain, they kind of disappoint. Portugal disappoints. England looks good yesterday. So we'll get some thoughts in terms of what we think of the World Cup moving forward, who the real contenders are, who are the pretenders. But before we get to all of that, let's go to the phone lines. Justice, who's with us?
We got Ernesto. Come on, man.
I thought it might have been. Ernesto, how you doing today, bud?
I'm doing great, man. I'm about an hour away from Savannah meeting my girl. I'm going to be walking with a beer in my hand in probably an hour and a half. I cannot wait. I'm just, it's going to be awesome.
Savannah, home of the Bananas, right?
Yeah. And home of the gnats. Oh, my God. The sand gnats are horrible. They just eat you up. But,
sand gnats?
Yeah, there's actually baseball teams. I think they had a minor league team called the Sand Gnats back in the day. Yep, I hate them. They get all over you when you're out here on the coast. So.
Tiny blood-sucking flies. Thank you, Google. I was unaware.
I love it. The young guns, man. You know, and I got a nickname for all you guys now. I just made it up.
No boy.
The Candle Maker, the Heartbreaker, and the Soul Taker. Woo!
That's actually pretty good. Honestly.
Off the dome, too?
That's pretty good. Though Candlemaker could be, that feels, I guess.
I give it an 8.9 out of 10.
The Heartbreaker and the Soul Taker is really good.
That's actually really funny, yeah.
Maybe the Suit Maker, maybe? I don't know. Candlemaker. It feels like the boring one among the three.
Nah, you make a candle.
And I guess I am probably the boring one here among us three. But
anyway, back to the World Cup. You seem to have this anti-Spain agenda. What's going on with you? You seem to have an anti-Spain agenda going on lately with your whole World Cup viewing expedition. Can we not acknowledge that, first of all, Cape Verde had a great defensive game plan? Can we acknowledge that?
Well, it just feels like their defensive game plan was park the bus, and Spain had nothing they could do. And Spain was supposed to be
That's great
favorite in
strategy.
this World Cup. They can hold the ball for 80% possession all they want, but if they just pass left and right among their back lines, what's the point?
Spain ain't no France, I can tell you that.
It's a great point.
I'm going to tell you, for the first 60 minutes, I wasn't that impressed with France, and I have them winning the whole thing. And then that supremely talented front line was like, you know what? Let's stop playing with our food.
Well, good thing a soccer match is 90 minutes.
Yep. For the last 30, they looked awesome.
Mhm.
For the last 30, that was some of the best soccer that France has played. And then you got idiots like Stephen A. going out there and say, will this be France's year to win the World Cup? They've been in 3 of the last 6 finals. Let's learn some history before we go spewing nonsense. I don't care that you make $20 million to spew nonsense. My dream job, by the way. But
To spew nonsense?
yeah, just spew nonsense and make $20 million. I mean, come on. I mean, I already spew nonsense and make way less than that. So my big thing is with the anti-Spain thing. I get it. They will create a ton of chances and they will not finish many of them. Cape Verde had an awesome defensive
Will
game
they
plan.
create a lot of chances?
They kind of did against Cape Verde. They created a lot of chances. I can't say they were good ones.
Okay, fair.
If you want to,
I'll give you that.
if you want to caveat them as create good chances, I don't know how many clean looks they're going to get, but they will create chances that, with their quality, they probably should tuck away.
I just think that Cape Verde, and part of this is probably also some World Cup game 1 nerves, and Lamine Yamal, not a full go. He only played like 10 minutes of that game. It feels to me that they are kind of built. They're going to be possession based, and then they need a moment of individual brilliance to go and score a goal. And Spain's got the guys that can go pull off a moment of individual brilliance. They didn't have a guy out there against Cape Verde that was able to go and do that. Now, adding Lamine Yamal into this as he gets healthier, could he be that guy? Sure. I am not out on Spain making a deep run in this World Cup, but I think that Cape Verde's game plan kind of exposed one of the weaknesses of Spain, which is the fact that they're almost too patient at times. They're so willing to just hold the ball across midfield, pass it left to right, looking for opportunities, not have any opportunities come, and then here comes somebody firing away a shot from 35 yards away.
You guys are the soccer buffs more than me, but looking at their group, could some of this conservative style of play be them knowing that they are the best team in their group and they're going to make it out regardless?
Probably.
Because these other teams just don't really do much for me. So I think Spain kind of just knows that they don't have to do anything too crazy in group play, and then maybe turn it on when it finally gets to bracket.
Here's the problem with that, and it is a valid theory here, YZ. The problem with that is like Uruguay's a real threat in that group, and like your best third place teams are going to make it out of that group. So do you have a little bit of a cushion? Yes. If you slack around and finish bottom of your group, you're in real trouble. That's the thing. Now, they've got a lot of talent. Listen, they got 2 of the best young attacking talents in the world, Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal. That is undeniable talent. The thing is, if you slack around, there are good countries. Like, no country in this World Cup is a slouch, and they're pretty much proven that so far. Other than Germany putting 7 past Curacao and embarrassing them, that's about the only bad performance of the World Cup so far. But other than that, I mean, every other team that you see has come in with a rock-solid game plan and come out with something. And that's been the biggest point of this. Congo came out with a point against Portugal. Great point for the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And their first ever World Cup point, I would like to point out. That was in 1 World Cup. So was Cape Verde's, and Canada took them 3 to get 1 point. So, we could talk about soccer disparity there. I don't know. But, I mean, there are teams that were supposed to be at the bottoms of their group that are saying, hey, we're at least leaving here with something.
Yeah, and these teams all have months upon months to game plan for their first game. The second group stage game is where it starts to get interesting because, you've had some scouting reports in these teams, but everyone comes out in game 1 and there's some things up their sleeves that are going to be a bit of a surprise. How do the teams adjust? I just want to list off some team names for you guys. And I want to ask if you think they're a contender or a pretender. Okay. So let's start off. Spain, contender, still. And by contender, I mean this is a team that's going to be playing potentially in the semifinal, making a run at a championship. A World Cup, I should say. Spain, contender or pretender?
They're a contender. I think Spain's still a contender. They got way too much talent.
Okay. How about Germany?
I would probably say a contender. I didn't love their selection, but it's clearly coming together for them. We'll see how as their group advances, how they really look.
Netherlands. Dropped points against Spain. Still a pretty talented team. One of the best back lines in the World Cup. Best defense.
They're so tall, and I don't think you see much of that in from what I've seen from the other teams, and that's scary to me. I'm going to say they're a contender.
They got Sweden and Japan in their group. I don't know that. I'm going to say they're a pretender. I don't think they have semifinal potential.
Okay. I don't hate that as well.
I
said contender.
I don't love their attack.
I can see your point.
I don't love their attack. Did they have a rock solid backline midfield? Yes,
they do, but their defense, it didn't look rock solid against Japan.
But Japan's a good team, man. I tried to tell you they were going to win their group.
Yeah.
And now Sweden, is trying to throw a wrench into that. And shout out Sweden. They've got they're good.
Okay. Let's go with Norway.
Too young. They're a pretender. They're a pretender for now, but a pretender in the fact that they're not going to make the semifinals. If you wanted to give me round of 16, I absolutely would say they could be the round of 16. This is not a semifinal.
I could see them even making it into the final 8 because I think now this might be early overreaction, but it's really not based on just how soccer has been for the last 4 years. I think they might have the best player in the World Cup with Erling Haaland. That was up for debate coming in. I think after the first game, I know they played Iraq, but I think he's the best player in this World Cup, and that can. Whenever you're the best player in the World Cup can go score 3 goals in any game at any given time, you're dangerous to anybody. France, we're all in agreement here. Contender.
Yeah, they're a contender.
How about Argentina after Messi scores the hat trick?
They're still a contender. They were a contender going in. That was the consensus FIFA #1 team in the world. And then Messi pulling out those moments of magic was great. But that's a real team without Messi still. They have an unreal attack and a pretty good midfield and like a back line that's good enough that they'll make it through most games. They're a contender.
3 teams left for you here. Portugal.
Oof.
I'm going pretender.
I'll say it. Yeah.
I'm going pretender.
Yeah, I mean they're a pretender in the sense that I don't think they'll make the Final Four, but they will absolutely be in that Final 8. They are way too talented.
I'm not convinced of that. They're very talented. From game 1, they're gonna have to quickly learn how to all play together. Ronaldo was a ball hog up in the front. Bruno Fernandes, he's all about himself as well.
I don't know. Did you see Bruno in that game? Bruno was unreal. Some of the passes he was making, no other guy in the world is making those.
100% fair. I just don't think it's meshing as a team.
Well, also, can we consider the fact that Bernardo Silva got booked in the 10th minute and had to get taken off at the 45th? So there goes half your creative output. Could we also consider that, and the fact that Congo is not a bad team?
No, Congo's not a bad team. But I was very unimpressed with how Portugal played together as a team.
I think part of that is their manager. I've never been a Roberto Martinez guy.
Yeah,
but right. I mean, you should have seen what he did with the Belgium golden generation that was supposed to make. By the way, we could talk about them in a little bit, but
best they ever made was what, a quarterfinal?
Yeah, and they have way too much talent to do that. But anyway, I can see the pretender. I think it's hard to just completely bash him after one game.
England.
They are probably a contender. I was skeptical of the team choice and the team selection by Thomas Tuchel. They looked the part. Now, what is Luka Modric doing? Just absolutely kicking the crap out of a guy in the penalty box trying to clear the ball? Like, no, you got to be able to hear the footsteps. Yeah. Know that a guy's coming for it. But
I think
they are good.
The 4-2 scoreline was, I thought, even generous for Croatia yesterday.
England looked dominant.
They needed some moments of individual brilliance. And I think late in that second half, whenever they had 2 goals, they only had 2 attempts on target. That 4-2 scoreline was generous to them. England really went and kicked some ass in that field.
They handled some business.
Yeah. Lastly, the good old US of A.
They're fun. They're a pretender. They're not a semifinal good team. They are good enough to make a round of 16. They are not to the point where they will make a semifinal, because to have those, there's a concoction of ingredients that has to come together. You have to have a great manager, and I do think they do with Poach. I think Poach is a really, really smart guy, and he's proven that through several times of what he's done. He is a totalitarian. He is ruthless in his selection and his style of management, but he is truly deeply passionate. There's a great article put out about this that I have to share at some point. It was a phenomenal piece of work by an independent writer on this, but they just don't have the individual quality, and that back line is, if you talk about teams that could contend, that is probably one of the worst back lines that they've had. And I thought they were good. I thought in that first game against one of the better defensive units that they were going to play in Paraguay, they had 2 center backs, Tim Ream and Chris Richards, that were progressive and unlocked lines, and that is massive when you want to unlock a low block.
There is specifically one guy that worries me, and it's Tim Ream, because he is 38 and Father Time has not been good to him.
He did win a foot race, though.
He's experienced. I don't know how it's going to work out whenever you do have game after game after game in the World Cup after a long season. How fresh is he still going to be a month from now? That remains to be seen. Chris Richards, though, is great. I have concerns about the back line, but I think the United States is a real contender, actually, because I personally think from a midfield point of view, individual talent-wise are the best. No, I think from a construction point of view and how their midfield philosophy-wise matches up with the manager, I think they could have one of the most dangerous midfields in this World Cup.
I think that's fair. Their attacking output does not excite me. Especially if Pulisic's going to be hampered, I don't know that they have the individual quality to actually unlock a low block. And they did in the first game. And Poch came up with a really inventive strategy that picked apart what Paraguay wanted to do. And Paraguay started the game open, then the U.S. scored an early one, and it was over from that. Like Paraguay had to sit back and they had to absorb pressure, and the U.S. beat them up 4-1. What's going to happen when Australia does that from the jump and counterattacks, which we know the Socceroos have a very dangerous counterattack. I don't know if you guys watched that Turkey game. They are lightning quick when they want to get the ball out. I mean, that is a very pacey counterattack that Australia's got. There's the real conversation is the U.S. going to be able to win? Because Tim Ream may win a foot race on the turn when he's got enough time and space. When it's a flat-out sprint to go beat a guy, I don't think Tim Ream's going to be able to match many people for pace. But if there's not going to be a better there's not going to be many better ball distributors from the center back position than Tim Ream in that group.
And the X factor for me in terms of how deep the United States can go, it's you think of there's the stars in the team. You have your Christian Pulisic, you have your Flo Balogun, you have Weston McKennie. The most important player to me on this team is Tyler Adams because of how much of an eraser he is for that back line. Kind of a do-it-all glue guy where he steps back and he can be a right back whenever Sergiño Dest gets forward. He is a rangy defensive midfielder that can go cover a lot of ground, but he's on a yellow. And if you're unfamiliar, in the World Cup, pick up a second at yellow, you automatically get suspended for a game. He's kind of the X factor to me because of how much he does from a defensive midfield point of view, that he steps in and he can comfortably go settle into a right back role if Sergiño Dest gets forward. He's rangy, cutting the passing lanes in the middle of the field. He can even step back and be a center back of sorts on a counterattack if Australia does get out. He's important to me. I think he's the reason why I have confidence, but watch out for that second yellow for Tyler Adams. I do think the United States legitimately here, final 8 would be a great result. And if you're in the final 8, it means you're a contender to get into a final 4. We shall see. This is the best team the United States has ever put together.
Yeah,
that is not an overreaction. And this is a World Cup where one game in, there's been a lot of unimpressive performances from some good teams that I still think are very much in this. But if the United States can carry some momentum with the home crowds, I think they're actually a contender to make a deep run. They're not a contender to win it all. They're not going to win it all. They lack individual quality compared to a lot of these other teams. They're not going to go beat a France in a knockout stage game. Probably not going to beat an England in a knockout stage game. But they can beat up most of the teams in this World Cup if they're playing on their A game.
Really quickly here, let's go through some superlatives. Best performance of the World Cup so far?
United States.
I would probably go England. That's a good Croatia. They beat a better team than the U.S. did. It's probably England or Germany for putting up 7.
And those are the top 3 for me. Mm-hmm. I rank it probably U.S. 1, England 2, Germany 3.
I go England 1, U.S. 2, Germany 3. Quality of competition matters.
Just team performances, or with
just team performances.
Okay.
From my issue with England is that Croatian team probably should not have put 2 against them.
No, but Croatia's good.
Croatia's
got real talent.
Croatia's good, but they shouldn't have put 2 against that England team. That is the one sticking point. I think
they could, man. I don't think that England back line's very good. And I watched several English fans say the same thing I've been.
And that's my issue with the team as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Back line's not very good.
Nope. YZ, you have a best team performance?
No, you guys already hit it.
Okay, best individual performance. This will be fun.
Mbappe.
Yeah.
It's got to be the Messi hat trick.
You got to say Messi.
It's got to be the Messi hat trick. No.
My quick fire reaction was
He's 38.
Was Mbappe probably did it against a better team?
Sure.
Slightly.
Sure.
Okay.
Algeria's no slouch, but yeah.
And France needed it. Whereas Messi, the last goal is unnecessary. Not to say you're not going to take that and convert that, but
okay, but that was still a great goal.
That's them. Yeah, he's done it for the last 15 years. I've seen that same goal scored by him probably 50 times.
Which should tell you how great he is.
Yeah,
best soccer player of all time,
unquestionably. And compare his performance to what Ronaldo put together.
Yeah, Ronaldo fans are in shambles right now.
That was bad. But that's fair.
Most exciting game of the World Cup so far.
Japan, Netherlands.
I completely agree with that. I'm glad you said that.
Japan, Netherlands, and it's easy. I don't think there's even a close second.
From an emotional attachment perspective, Cape Verde, Spain was pretty fun. Just because everybody's getting behind the underdog in Cape Verde and they make a couple late attacks and you're like, wow, they go actually win this thing and they get an exciting point. But it is Japan, Netherlands. That game rocked.
From a quality as well perspective, from like just the quality of soccer we got to see. Brazil and Morocco was up there,
That was fun.
but it finishes 1-1. So I can't put it up there as the most exciting game, but it's up there and it's probably slightly underappreciated.
Yeah, Japan 2-2 with the Netherlands was pretty awesome. But yeah, that Brazil game, like that team still has a lot of talent. It just feels like, this is weird to say, but it feels like Brazil's in a bit of a transitional state with Carlo Ancelotti, and they've got some young talent that's really exciting. But Brazil will be back. They'll be reloaded and back at the top of the World Cup standings.
Another thing, they are not a contender this year.
No, they're not.
That's one more point I wanted to bring up. Forgot to bring them up. They are not a contender. They are a pretender at this point. Their offensive strategy is Vinny, go do something. Vinicius is great, but they're kind of stuck in between two worlds with wanting to play a 37-year-old Casemiro. And I can't remember the young guy who came in for him late in the game against Morocco and looked a lot better.
They've got a young transitional team. That's what they've got. They're in a transitional state. Brazil will be back in no time. That's one of the best countries in the world, undisputably, at producing soccer.
Yep.
They will be back. Don't worry. They're just in a transitional state right now, and they're just trying to figure things out. I think the quarterfinals would be a good finish for them. They should probably get to the semifinals with the level of talent they have, but with the style of play, I think, getting to the quarterfinals will probably suffice for this.
Huge for Brazil would be, at what point does Neymar come back? Returns to training. I don't think we're going to see him be a group stage guy, but if he can return for a knockout stage, could be huge for Brazil and their chances moving forward. Because if you have Vinny and Neymar in the front line, that is dangerous.
Don't forget they've got Rafinha too. Rafinha's a really good player.
Yeah.
Like they've got real quality in that front line.
Yep. But I don't think they're a complete team. Anyway, that'll do it for our soccer talk. The United States plays Australia tomorrow. We kind of previewed it there just a little bit. The United States is the better team. Australia dangerous in counterattack. And can the United States break down more of a low block? I don't think Paraguay went low block enough. Australia's going to sit in deep. They're going to try to get 9 guys behind the ball. And then they're going to try to escape quickly whenever they do get turnovers from the United States. And the United States is attacking third. So be interesting style. The United States is the better team. If you get another impressive performance from the U.S. like you saw against Paraguay, this could be another rout. But watch out. Australia is fast. They're quick. They get from defense to attack really, really quickly. That's kind of the preview for what tomorrow can be. How incisive can the United States be? And with a low block, can you convert your chances? You're going to need to convert your chances at a high clip against a team that plays a low block. Because if you can get yourself up 1 or 2-0, it'll change the game completely. So that's what you're looking for tomorrow. 2:00, the United States plays Australia, their second World Cup game. And by the way, the United States' first World Cup game, if you were wondering, did outdraw the final game of the NBA Finals from a viewership point of view, and it really wasn't that close. So it's an exciting time to be a soccer fan in the United States. I know a lot of people out there aren't soccer fans. Thank you for bearing with us here the last 20 minutes or so. As we
promise we will get you back to your regular programming.
When we return, we'll talk some MLB. We'll talk some stories that we missed. That's how we'll wrap hour 1 here on the Morning Hookup. And don't forget, hour 2, we'll have some thoughts on the U.S. Open. Jeff Motz will join the show as well. So still plenty more coming your way on a Thursday edition of the Morning Hookup here on KFOR.
Bang. Long break. Yeah, they should win tomorrow, or at least get something out of that game against Australia. Turkey did not impress me. Turkey was terrible in that first game.
I think we'll get a better...
There's some quality on that team still. But
we will get a better point of reference for the United States' point against performance against Paraguay
tomorrow,
depending on what they do against Turkey.
Yeah, because if they go beat Turkey, or if they go get a result against Turkey, you could say, okay, like they.
I wonder if I think the Paraguayans,
yeah,
I hated their game plan against the United States.
Yeah, they tried to start open and fast, and I'm like, that's
not them.
No, that's not. They're very compact, structurally sound defensively.
They gave Brazil and Argentina a world of issues by sitting a low block and going counterattack, which is what the United States is going to see against Australia. If they can sit low block, or if Paraguay would have set low block and tried to counterattack, that would not have been a 4-1 game.
I think they just didn't respect the United States in the way that they probably
100% agree.
And based on results going in, I kind of didn't blame them for doing that. For, just trying to go take the game to the United States and see if they could punch them in the mouth, but just ultimately didn't end up working, which happens. We can hit Big Ten win totals at all? You want to hit that?
We can hit that probably towards the end of the show.
Talk a little football.
Yeah.
Football. Just like, hey, what's your favorite props, favorite looks?
Oh, can you check the do you know where the Salt Dogs folder is?
Yeah.
Can you check and see if we got the Frisbee ejection?
Let me look.
I specifically told the producers to, if you get an ejection where Rich is on it, to at least include it. Is it on there? It might be from the night before, actually.
I think it was 16th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the date I got on the 16th. There's a YouTube video of it.
Oh. That's Rich. We could play that. Was it in there on the 16th highlights or no?
No.
Okay.
Let me see if I can.
I can forward it to you on Twitter. Are you on the Average Joe account?
Yeah.
Let me just share it. Oh, share it via chat. What are we doing here?
Yeah, there's this foul territory.
Yeah. Do you know if you can go Twitter to MP3 on that computer in there, which you should still be able to do, I think.
It wants an explanation why, and Frizz might get tossed here. Yep, he's done.
Yep, he's done. God, I love Rich. Also, Ahmad Hudson has cleared everything LSU related off of his Instagram account.
Is that a comeback topic?
It just might be.
Is that real?
Yeah, it's real. He still has like the LSU tight end, LSU football, LSU basketball all on there, but
his profile picture is now his visit to Nebraska and
with his girlfriend.
And there's no LSU content on here.
Yeah, I think he's trying to drum up engagement. We can talk about it.
Yeah,
I don't actually think there's a chance he comes here unless Fred does some serious work. Okay, let me balance this out and then I can play it. This just needs some dynamic processing.
It's so dynamic. You got motion in there.
There's not many better tools than dynamics processing.
In there, fire.
No, the preset is fire. But yeah, we can hit the frisbee ejection because we're gonna have like little under 3 minutes 30 seconds.
Oh, perfect.
This clip's gonna be like 1:50.
Yeah, so screw going around the diamond in MLB. We can say that for later.
Yeah, we could just do hey, today in sports stories we missed.
And it's like, I don't know, we're kind of into the
dead period
of baseball season.
Whoa! Not when my Cardinals are playing. We're not.
Not to say
we're hot, baby.
Not to say it's not important, but everything really ratchets up a notch after All-Star break.
I don't know if YZ's been seeing what we're doing in the minors, but Josh Baez leads the minors in homers with 25.
Yeah.
You seen that?
Well,
we got another monster coming up.
The 1 month before the All-Star break is always the most uninteresting part of the season.
Not when you're cooking.
So uninspiring seeing Christian Campbell getting paid $60 million to hit 200 in AAA.
Like, it's also the point of the season where teams get really, like, they're so precautious with injury, but it's just like so many guys for some minor thing. Welcome back into the morning hookup, a Thursday edition. Dust is cooking on the ones and twos. YZ sitting to my left. I'm Elijah Herbal, filling in today for Bill Hooks. And fellas, is it time for, I guess it's not stories that we missed just yet, but we did want to go to the Diamond, and this one we want to sneak in. The Lincoln Salt Dogs, we love them here on KFOR. You can listen to every single Salt Dogs game, 100 games long, here on KFOR every single evening. Another game coming your way this evening. But 2 nights ago, Tuesday night, one heck of an ejection for one James Frisbee. He has been, generally speaking, a little frustrated with some of the umpiring he's seen at the American Association level, and he really blew up on Tuesday night.
No, they're going to call him out. They're going to call him out. They're going to say that he was on the bag. And now James Frisbee's going to come out, and Frizz might lose his mind here. And he's walking out. He wants an explanation why, and Frizz might get tossed here. Yep, he's done. Yep, so James Frisbee's going to come out. He's going to give it to Sergio Lucero. And get his 2 cents in here on this. Oh, there comes the first base bag. Frizz picked it up and he tossed it away. And now he's mocking Boltron on the play previously and calling safe. Yep, he's going to get his money's worth out of this one.
So, Rich Ray, you heard that call here on KFOR just the other night. It's kind of making the rounds on social media a day later.
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. He's going to pick up the first base bag, and he's going to throw it. It's done. It's gone.
I love Rich knew exactly what was going to happen there. It was Rich sees him coming out, and Rich goes, "You better be careful. You might get himself."
It was like a disappointed dad. He's like, no. Oh,
Come on.
Well, time to get you cleaned up, kiddo. You went swimming in the lake. No, don't jump in. Oh, okay. Well, let's get you a change of clothes, kiddo. That was the tone of Rich's voice there. That was hilarious.
The Salt Dogs, though, did get back to their winning ways last night, an 8-3 win against the Winnipeg Goldeyes. How about Jacob Hughes? Lincoln debut goes 6 strong innings. At one point, retired 9 straight Golden Eyes. It's still early in the Salt Dog season. We talk about 100 games long. Great to see a moment, though, kind of making the rounds. Love our Lincoln Salt Dogs here on KFOR. And you don't love an ejection, but you love whenever you get some of that social media attention. So here's to you, Rich. Great call on that. Here's to you, James Frisbee, manager of the Lincoln Salt Dogs. Give me
you say you don't love a good ejection. I saw Ollie Marmol get tossed the other night, and I was like, yeah, that's my skipper. That's what I want to say. I don't care if it's the ABS era. You give that what for?
Maybe it's just me as an umpire saying don't like seeing an ejection. But that'll do it for us for hour 1 here, the morning hookup. When we return, we talk some U.S. Open. We'll have Jeff Moach join the show. Sorsby's agent goes scorched earth on Cincinnati and a whole lot more.
When you shop at Menards. Get long-lasting color with Pittsburgh's grand distinction, exterior paint and primer in one. It's highly dirt-resistant and provides a mildew-resistant coating. Save big money in all Pittsburgh paints. Our knowledgeable team is ready to help bring your dreams to life. 1 gallon at a time. Stop by your local Menards and get your project started today.
Save big money at Menards.
Join us every Tuesday at Venue Restaurant and Lounge for our prime rib special. Available in a 12-ounce queen cut or 16-ounce king cut. Served with your choice of 2 sides and our house-made au jus and horseradish sauce. Complete your meal with our add-on sautéed mushrooms or caramelized onions. Make your reservation today for Prime Rib Tuesdays at Venue Restaurant and Lounge. Earn rewards on every meal with our Your Venue Reward program for Venue Restaurant and Lounge and Piedmont Bistro. Earn 1 point for every $1 spent and redeem 200 points to receive a $10 reward. Register online and get 100 points instantly. Dine with us and ask your server how to join our program to start earning rewards today. Piedmont Bistro is proud to announce that we are now open with our full menu Sunday nights. Start off with one of our delicious appetizers, follow it up with an incredible chef-crafted entree, and finish your meal with a house-made seasonal dessert. Make your reservation today for Sunday nights at Piedmont Bistro.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up. Do not provide them with any form of payment or information.
Lincoln's local news, talk, sports, and weather station. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR, and KFRX HD3. Lincoln.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The Supreme Court decided one of its several major outstanding cases today. Again, it expanded gun rights. ABC's Devin Dwyer covers the court.
The Supreme Court's decision was unanimous, ruling that a long-standing federal ban on guns for unlawful users of any controlled substance is unconstitutional, especially as applied to a Texas man who simply consumed marijuana several times a week and was prosecuted.
On social media, President Trump says you're welcome as he touts the deal with Iran that ends the war, but the reception in Washington has been mixed. And Democrats like Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer say,
when you look at the 14 points that the administration has agreed to, it looks like Iran has won on just about every one of them.
Vice President J.D. Vance will speak to reporters at the White House. ABC's Mary Bruce is there with more on details of the agreement that involved the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and the 60-day window for the sides to negotiate the future of Iran's nuclear program.
Under the deal, Iran and the country of Oman will administer the strait, something that was not the case before the war. The waterway will reopen toll-free, but it's unclear if that will hold when the 60 days runs out. In return for reopening the strait, Iran will see immediate financial relief. For the first time in years, the U.S. lifting restrictions, allowing Iran to freely sell oil.
Parts of the Gulf Coast under high flood risk, says ABC meteorologist Ginger Z.
It has been a wreck in New Orleans overnight. So much lightning and tornado warnings. Also, rainfall rates more than a half foot per hour. That is so hard to do. The atmosphere is just pouring, and that's why we see a rare high risk level 4 out of 4 in parts of Mississippi, Alabama, Florida Panhandle today, but a significant flood risk that goes all the way up to Atlanta.
You're listening to ABC News.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Estella.
The state files a lawsuit against the city of Lincoln and local minimum wage ordinance. Good morning, I'm Jeff Modes. Some sunshine, some broken clouds, and 70 degrees at KFOR. Nebraska Attorney General Mike Kildrich today announced that he's filed a lawsuit on behalf of the state against the city of Lincoln, saying that the recently approved local minimum wage ordinance is unconstitutional. State lawmakers this past session adjusted the voter-approved minimum wage standard in 2022, where the minimum wage growth now should be at 1.75%.
The people of the state of Nebraska passed a petition to modify the state statute as to minimum wage, which they are entitled to do. The legislature has been given power and authority by the people of the state of Nebraska to modify, if they have a certain set of votes, that it goes over a certain threshold, modify a statute passed by the people, which they, in fact, did.
The Lincoln minimum wage ordinance, which maintains the original state minimum wage standard without exceptions, including a $15 an hour minimum wage with annual cost of living adjustments, takes effect on July 1st. KFOR News has reached out to City Council member James Michael Bowers, who introduced that city ordinance, for a comment, but has not yet responded. Read more at KFORnow.com. Going on right now, University of Nebraska Board of Regents are meeting at Varner Hall to consider the university budget for the 2027 fiscal year, which is the second year of the current biennium. A tuition increase is also proposed as part of the university's 2026-27 operating budget. The board will consider a 4.25% tuition increase to address the impacts of inflation-driven costs. Also, the regents are expected to move one step closer today to becoming the sole owner of Nebraska Medicine, while considering whether to increase tuition again as part of the next annual budget. The regents will consider two related agenda items that would effectively reduce the $500 million needed to proceed with sole Nebraska Medicine membership to $300 million. Lincoln's first forecast expecting more of the sunshine today. We'll see a high around 81 this afternoon. We're at 70 right now. I'm Jeff Motes, KFOR News.
In 1906, for the very first time, a human voice traveled through the air. No wires, no limits, just sound, connecting people. It was the beginning of something powerful. From that moment on, radio didn't just inform, it brought us together. This 4th of July, celebrate 250 years of America and over a century of the voices that unite us.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov.
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Welcome back into hour 2 of the Morning Hookup, a Thursday edition. With me, Elijah Herbal, Wisey sitting to my left, Justice across the glass for our own safety, running the 1s and 2s. Good song. Good song. You're feeling that in there.
He's getting after it.
Yeah, don't stop till you get enough, baby.
Yeah.
That's what we say about sports talk. Don't stop till you get enough. Come on now.
And fellas, there's going to be a lot of folks getting enough and more than they want at Shinnecock Hills this weekend. It is the U.S. Open, my second favorite golf tournament. It's obvious. Masters is everyone's number one.
Yeah, they're getting they're getting enough of the business. That's what the rough is giving them, the business.
They're getting enough because it is brutal out there at Shinnecock this weekend. Already guys getting brutalized on this course. And okay, the thing about Shinnecock is not only is it set up to be difficult from a golf course construction point of view, this is not the most difficult course that they'll play just based on, the design of the course. But what makes it so difficult is the conditions that you're forced to play in every single day. At this point in the year, mid-June, they have Poa annua grass on the course, which does not hold up well to high heat. So what they are planning on doing this weekend is it's called syringing the greens, where they're going around and they're going to add water midday. Not enough to truly, at least their hope is, change the condition of how firm or soft a green is, but it's supposed to perk the grass back up and allow it to play more consistently because they have these high winds that come in off the ocean that just dry the course out. And it's a super sandy, firm course that drains water really well. So the water drains off, the wind blows, and it dries out, gets everything very firm, changes the conditions as the day goes on. That's one of the things that makes this so difficult. Is any course is more difficult whenever it gets windy out, and it's always going to be windy at Shinnecock, especially this time of year. Combine that with changing course conditions in terms of hardness, softness of the greens, and the fact that you're going every which way in this course. You got to play the wind 20 different directions, more accurately 18 different directions as you're playing around. It makes this course incredibly difficult. And as you look, we currently have about 10 guys sitting under par, no one greater than 2 under par right now. That is Sam Burns. He stands alone at the top of the leaderboard, 2 under par, just through 4 holes. That's a good start from him. And then you have about 9 guys tied at 1 under. That includes Lewis Oberg. That includes Rory McIlroy. But still a lot more golf to be played. If you were wondering, there is James Nicholas. As of 2 holes ago, he was leading through 6. He was 2 under. Now through 8, he is at even par. That is how quickly your fortunes can change at Shinnecock. You miss the green, not even miss the green, like you hit the wrong part of the green, you roll off into a runoff area, and you are guaranteeing yourself just about a double bogey. It's going to take a miraculous effort for you to even get a bogey. That's what makes Shinnecock so difficult, is your fortunes can change in the blink of an eye based on one bad shot. Find yourself in the wrong area off of a green, and you are in hell. It's going to be fun all weekend long. We kind of made our predictions yesterday in terms of how many players would be under par by the time Saturday rolls around. It is just going to get more and more difficult as this day goes on, as the course dries out, as everything firms up. It's going to become more difficult. The wind's going to pick up. Nothing easy at the U.S. Open, especially not at Shinnecock Hills. But it is a golf celebration, I would say, this weekend, despite the fact that these professional golfers, the best in the world, are going to get brutalized.
Now, here's the funny thing about the U.S. Open. If you don't know how the purse works for these, this has the exact same payout as the Masters tournament. So the winner gets $22.5 million. That is a massive purse to get. Now, I don't know how golf, divvies out the money from that purse, but I'm assuming the winner gets a large percentage, if not, most of the lion's share of that. $22.5 million is not a small pot here, fellas. That's a lot of money to be playing for. And Shinnecock Hills can be pretty nasty. I know we talked about it. What was our final score? What we were locking in. The last time it was played in the U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills, I don't believe 2017 was when Brooks Koepka won as part of that back-to-back U.S. Open wins.
He was 1 over.
He was 1 over in that. And like you noted, there's only been 3 guys who have ever finished under par at Shinnecock Hills when the U.S. Opens happened. One of them is not, in this tournament. I'm assuming a couple of them aren't in this tournament, but Phil Mickelson, who has the lowest score at this golf course, is not participating in this event for, outside circumstances, but still a lot of great golfers in this field. Rory McIlroy is 1 under par right now. Scotty Scheffler at even. That was the betting favorite coming in, trying to finish the career Grand Slam. There's going to be a lot of good golf play. You got to stay patient. You got to stay steady. And I know they had some delays early this morning because of a fog warning, I believe, that rolled in earlier is what I was seeing, because Scotty Scheffler was set to tee off at 7:14 a.m.
He just teed off.
And he just teed off because of weather delays due to some fog that had rolled in. So they just pushed back some of those earlier start times, rolled them in with the crew. So now those guys are getting going. But you wonder if a delay messes with the round for Scotty Scheffler and J.J. Spawn and that playing group a little bit. But really good pairings going today, some pretty good groups. And, don't take too much away from the first day of the U.S. Open. Just note who's in front, note who's put together some decent rounds, note who's falling behind. And, it's in this particular U.S. Open, if you're staying within a couple strokes of the lead, you're in a pretty good spot.
100%. This is not a battle to score low. This is a battle to avoid the doubles and the triples.
Right.
There's going to be bogeys for a lot of folks. The birdies are going to be few and far between. It's just all about staying relatively close to even par and giving yourself a chip in a chair by the time Sunday rolls around.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you talked about Scotty. He still sits at even through 1 as he just got himself teed off. Most of the field still yet to tee off here. So plenty more golf to come throughout the weekend. We've kind of locked in some of our thoughts here. Now that we've started off here, do you guys have, if we were betting men on the show, if we were Brendan Sorsby, who are you putting your money on to win this thing?
Oh, I put my money where my mouth was.
Yeah,
I put a little bet on Scotty now. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. I got to back the guy who's going to get the career Grand Slam. That's a cool storyline, and I think Scotty's a good enough golfer. He can make it happen.
Thoughts, YZ? I know you're not the biggest golf guy.
Yeah, I just with this course being so tough, I'm trying to think of a guy that can just power through that and just make a bunch of golf shots.
I like Justin Thomas.
Yeah.
JJ Spawn could go back to back.
Fitzpatrick's been playing really well.
Yeah, Matt Fitzpatrick. That's a good shout.
Yeah. Him or a guy like Fleetwood.
There you go. I shouted out Tommy Fleetwood on the Tuesday show when we were talking about this. I said that's a guy that could really get it going.
This is it's not a course where you will trade driving distance for accuracy.
Unless you're Brooks Koepka.
I don't even think it's going to go well because
he won it here last time. Now, was that a while ago? Yes.
Yeah, and he also finished 1 over.
Yeah, but
now, I don't think this is going to be, personally, I don't think an over par round is going to win it this year. We'll see. I don't. I think someone will be in that 2-3 under range. We'll see. But this is not a course that favors, I think, the Koepkas and the DeChambeaus, because the trend in golf recently has been, hey, it's better to hit a wedge than an iron, even if you're out of the rough. This is not a course where you feel that way. Good luck hitting out of the tall stuff. There's the second cut, which looks pretty brutal, but then there's that tall fescue in between holes that is dang near impossible to hit a quality shot out of. And if you're not hitting quality shots, you're not landing it on the green where you want to be landing it on the green, and you're going to find yourself shooting a lot of double bogeys. Simple as that. So I'm looking for guys that can go hit fairways, even if they're not the longest drivers. This could be a course that actually favors a guy like Justin Rose. Some of the name that's further down in terms of the betting odds that I think his game sets up pretty favorably for a course like this. And then the last name I have, and I've talked about this, Spieth has been a master for about 5 years now of that scramble golf where he finds himself in a terrible position and still finds a way to make par. That experience is valuable in a course like this where you just know you always trust yourself to go make par no matter how bad your opening tee shot is. There's experience that comes from that in terms of when are you aggressive, when are you conservative, when do you take your medicine and accept your bogey, when do you think, okay, I can still make a par on this hole. That experience could come invaluable. I don't think he wins this tournament, but I think he could be a guy that is in close to contention come the weekend. So it's kind of my thoughts. U.S. Open. But that's all gotten kicked off at Shinnecock Hills up in the Hamptons this morning. Well, we'll be following that all weekend long. We'll have a winner for you that we'll discuss on Monday. Who does it end up being? Your guess is as good as mine. This one feels really wide open this weekend just because the course and the conditions and how they change throughout the weekend could make any one of these golfers the favorite because your guess is as good as mine in the conditions. So that'll do it for our golf talk. We're going to step aside when we return. I think we're going to wait on the Almanac, Jeff Moats, but I think we can take a look around the MLB Diamond just briefly whenever we return on the Morning Hookup. I think we take a look around the Diamond, maybe get to Moats. If not, we'll go Sorsby. It's going to be a 4-segment hour, I believe.
Mm-hmm. We'll try for it. You're for me to pull out a banger. We're going to pull out some heat here.
Oh, Rory for birdie on the 14th.
Hey, Alabama and Iowa will begin a 2-year neutral site series next season in Des Moines.
Basketball?
Yep.
Okay. So football would be crazy.
No, that's a fun basketball series.
Pretty cool. Ooh, Rory hit a. That is still rolling. That's a tough par save putt there for Rory. He knows it. Look at him.
Half price drinks and slushes at Sonic all day.
It's not even the solstice. They always do it on the solstice.
On my app, it's early, man.
Huh.
Yes, I have the Sonic app. I'm fat. Okay. Sorry. It's okay. If there's one thing that I am a slave for, it is a good Sonic beverage. Sorry. And their mozzarella sticks. Their mozzarella sticks are incredible.
Their burgers are actually all right.
They're solid. Do you have a favorite fast food joint in town while we're on the stream only?
Slim Chickens.
Good answer. Good PR answer. I like Slim's. I've never had a bad experience at a Slim's Chicken in this town. That should probably tell you who's running it.
Got a gift card for my birthday that I've been slowly using. Get a good lunch every now and then.
There you go. Dude, their fried pickles are kind of incredible. And their jar desserts is fire.
Slim's has fried pickles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They're good.
They're fire.
Ooh.
I've been working on Hooksy to try to bring us some. Hooksy and I were going to cook up sweet tea one time.
How hard is that?
It's not hard. We were just going to make our own sweet tea. Why not? Hooks and I talked about it.
Matthew Liberatore on the bump today.
Against who? Who's he pitching against?
No Cameron.
We're good. We're winning that.
We're good.
We're good. We're playing the Royals. If we score 3 runs, we're winning.
Yeah, they can't hit the ball.
They stink.
Vinny's hurt too. So they got Bobby Witt in their lineup. Cags has been pretty good lately.
Yeah, he's been solid.
That's pretty much it.
All right. Here we go. Here comes the banger.
From you and I were far from grace. Now we was a small river in my face.
Do you remember when we used to dance? An incidental rose from circumstance. One thing led to another, we were young. And we would sing together songs unsung. It was the heat of the moment.
Welcome back into the Morning Hookup on a Thursday. I had to let you guys have your moment there, your heat of the moment, if you will. Great.
I should have pulled up the Cartman edition of that.
I was thinking the whole time as you guys were singing along.
I never meant to be so bad to you. I'm gonna play that.
while we talk heat of the moment here, there's some good races going down in the MLB. We kind of talked, I think it was during a break last hour. So for those of you that don't get to hear our conversations during the break, you're missing out. Check us out on the YouTube stream. We don't take commercial breaks on the YouTube stream. We just keep it rocking and rolling through the commercial breaks. Check us out. Search us, the Morning Hookup on YouTube. You can also find KFOR Radio on both Facebook and Twitter to find the full video version of this show, see our beautiful faces. And if you're out there listening on the radio, the game I always like to play kind of growing up into the social media age, whenever like that was coming around, was, does that voice I hear on the radio match up with the face that I end up seeing on social media? And the answer was always unequivocally no. So you can play that game. Join us on the Morning Hookups YouTube channel. Find us there and see, does one Elijah Herbal, what does one YZ, does one Justice Rhodey look like that image you have in your head?
So real quickly, am I reading this right? You're 15 and a half games back in the AL East?
12-24 at home. Yeah, that is correct. 3-7 in their last 10. Yeah.
YZ is wearing his Red Sox hat this morning.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, here's
bad baseball team, bad organization.
Well, like the Orioles are 11.5 back, the Blue Jays are 10 back, but like the thing is like, you know, it feels like a Yankees-Rays AL East this year. But, brother, 15 and a half games back, my goodness gracious.
Could be worse. You could be 20 games back. Shout out to the Colorado Rockies.
And somehow you're only 5.5 games out of a wild card.
Somehow. This is all Craig Breslow's fault. Craig Breslow, Sam Kennedy, and John Henry. All their fault.
I've had some Red Sox friends of mine saying they would like Craig Breslow's head on a silver platter. Proverbially, not actually literally. They just they would like him to leave his general manager days behind.
Dude has no clue how to run a baseball team, and he has ran the Boston Red Sox into the ground.
Thank you for all the talent that you've shipped our way.
You're welcome.
As a Cardinals fan, I'm very appreciative of what Chaim Bloom has done for my organization.
Did you guys
let him
see
go?
The Athletic released an article a couple days ago that was the Rafael Devers trade 1 year later?
It's kind of disastrous.
It's kind of been horrible for both teams.
Yeah. Because I have a Giants fan buddy who's like, it actually couldn't turn out bad. It actually could turn out good for us. I'm like, that is a 10th percentile outcome at this point, buddy.
Not only did Rafael Devers come in and suck for the Giants, the entire return that the Red Sox got back was pointless.
They got James Tibbs.
And at least the Red Sox don't have a $300 million bar tab to pay for Rafael Devers like the Giants do. So that's a win, but it's not like it's helped the Red Sox at all.
One of the best prospects in AAA right now, James Tibbs, had him. The Red Sox had him. He came over and we made him change his batting stance and his whole approach. Was hitting sub 200. And then instead of telling him to go back to his regular ways, they just sent him off. And now he's with the Dodgers and absolutely raking.
I mean,
the team has no idea how to develop players. They don't know what talent looks like. And then when they get talent, they don't know what to do with it.
I mean, here's the crazy thing is the best hitter on the Giants right now is Luis Arias with a 125 WRC plus. That's weighted runs created plus. Casey Schmidt's up there. Boy, Bryce Eldridge
just raking.
He's been really good. Rafael Devers, though, like he's just kind of above average, 102 OPS plus, 0.3 WAR, but you're not paying that guy $300 million to be an above average bat or slightly above average bat. You're paying him to be that 140 to 150 WRC plus game changer that you know he can be.
We didn't even talk about Kyle Harrison in this trade. Sent him off to the Brewers, and now he has like a sub 2.5 ERA and is incredible.
And most of that was inflated by a blow-up outing against the Athletics in Las Vegas. So, he's been pitching better than that. But, yeah, he's been awesome. And, yeah, it just kind of stinks for you guys because, you get rid of this bat and you're thinking, hey, we can get a decent return. Then Breslow pawns it off for pennies on the dollar.
Now, they're kind of in a bind at the deadline. They don't know if they want to sell or if they want to buy. And it's like the team is so bad. They are so bad. Do not go out and spend money. You need to sell everybody off this team and offload and look on to next year. You are not making the playoffs.
You trade Wilson Contreras?
If you trade Wilson Contreras, that is the biggest mistake you will make this year. He's the best player on the team. That's one guy you have to keep. You can offload Duran, Chapman, Whitlock, get rid of everybody, but you got to keep Contreras.
There you go. There's the Boston Red Sox talk.
On the flip side here, to talk some good baseball teams, unfortunately, because I know you guys like to go with the Yankees hate. The Yankees are playing some of the best ball right now in the sport. And they're not fully healthy.
Yeah, they're good.
They're good, man. They're sitting at 45-27, 8-2 in their last 10.
How can I hate on that? Carlos Rodon's not good. There we go. Low blow achieved. Ben Rice is awesome. Unfortunately for my anti-Yankees agenda, he's really awesome. They've gotten some really good stuff out of Garrett Cole since he's come back.
Yep,
like he looks
that's
like he
huge.
hasn't missed a beat. They've had just some really good pitching. Cam Schlittler's been really, really awesome. Like that guy's really good. No, they've figured it out. They've still got some bullpen concerns, but pretty good team. They've been pretty good. And when it looked like the Rays were going to run away with the AL East, the Yankees have clawed this thing right back. And that's what they do. That's what they do, man.
That race is not over with the Yankees and the Rays in that AL East, but it does feel like the Yankees, as we inch closer to All-Star break, have gained firm control over the division. I know it's only a 3.5 game separation, but just based on the quality that both these teams are playing with, it does feel like the Yankees are in. I mean, it's the most control they've had over that division in a long time. And not to say the Rays are out of it, I would be surprised to see the Rays. They're a solid wild card team, but I think the Yankees are asserting their control over the AL East, and it's just going to continue.
Well, let's talk about real baseball teams. As the season ended today, the number 2 team and the number 2 seed in the AL would be the Chicago White Sox.
They're so fun.
Let's talk about some real baseball teams because those guys are kind of awesome.
Oh, they're fun. Are they a World Series team? Not by any means. Are they fun? And would I love to see them in the playoffs? Absolutely. They're young. They're scrappy. They play good ball. They have a couple exciting players that, I mean, it's a good reason to turn on the TV. He's a Japanese guy,
Munetaka Murakami.
Murakami.
He's been hurt, but he's
been
fun.
Yeah, he is fun. And then they have the guy from they drafted him whenever he broke his ankle, Braden Montgomery.
And then they have Colson Montgomery. So they got a couple of Montgomerys just doing the business for him. And then, hey, Davis Martin's been awesome. I know he had a blow outing recently, but people were blaming that on bad first base play. I can't be the one to judge that, but
to go from a team that lost 121 games to where they are now, it's pretty cool to watch. They had the Phillies, the Braves, and the Dodgers back to back to back, and they went 5-4 in that stretch.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
I did not have them as the best team in Chicago this year. They're the best team in Chicago. I know the record wise they're pretty similar. And the Cubs, there was like a 3-week long stretch that kind of derailed their season. They're still not out of things by any means, but the White Sox are the team to watch in Chicago this year.
Music to Justice's ears.
Thank you to Pope Leo. Thank you to the good Lord above for doing what needed to be done and making sure that Wrigley Field is a sad place to be because those guys stink. They stink. And I'm all for saying that they stink. I'm all for hating on the Cubs on air because very rarely in these past couple of years have I gotten to get pot shots in at that team. Dadgummit, I'm taking every opportunity to load up the BB gun and take some pot shots right now.
I wouldn't go as far as to say as they stink, but don't let their record fool you.
They're bad to watch, man.
They've recovered slightly from the tailspin that they were in, but the teams that they have played since they recovered from that tailspin, let's see, I know that they played the Rockies in 2 separate series since they've kind of gotten themselves back on track. They play the Angels in there as well. They have the Mets coming up. They got the Blue Jays right now. Oh, sorry. Giants, Rockies twice. No, sorry. Wow. Giants twice, Rockies twice, A's once. That is how they've recovered from their tailspin. They're still not a great baseball team. They're just beating bad baseball teams, and they lost a series against the Giants.
Hey, you know who else is fun this year? The Nationals.
The Washington Nationals.
The Nationals.
Yeah.
That's the 7th best offense in baseball right now.
James Wood, Luis Garcia, C.J. Abrams, Dylan Cruz, Dalen Lyle. The lineup is a bunch of young guys that they know how to hit the ball. They know
nasty,
how to.
Man.
It's not just long balls and pimping home runs. They can put the ball in play.
Are they sneaky getting themselves in a position where if they, keep cruising at this pace for the next month, are they sneaky buyers at the deadline?
I think so because they need pitching like so bad. They roll out Zach Littell every 5 days. They roll out who else? Miles Michaelis. Like you have to go find.
But Kate Cavalli's awesome.
That being said, playing for a wild card in the NL is a dangerous game to play with as good as the NL is this year.
The NL's been really good because the Cards are 40-32, and they're only 2.5 games up in the wild card right now. That's the kind of it is a tight race.
I mean, the competition for the wild card is the Padres, the Diamondbacks, the Cardinals, the Cubs, the Phillies, the Nationals, and I would even throw the
Pirates are in there. The Marlins are only 2 games out. The Reds are 3 games out. Like the Mets are sneaky, 5.5 out, and we thought that their season was all dead to rights. So, I mean. Here's the thing, Giants are 7.5 out. Somebody puts a run together. The only real team that feels like they're out of it right now is the Rockies, and they're still 11 games out.
Giants are out of it too.
I don't know that the Giants are out of it. They're 5.5 games. They're like 7.5 out, man. I don't know that they're completely out of it.
They're not a good baseball team.
They're not a good baseball team, but like
They're out of it.
I'm never going to say never at the midseason point of the deadline.
I will.
I just won't write them off until they get like 10 plus games under.
Speaking of teams that could be,
We'll check back in a week.
Speaking of teams that could be buyers, who else do you guys think should buy at the deadline and try and make a push?
Cardinals.
I completely disagree with that.
Really?
Yes. Why would you sacrifice the long-term vision of the franchise to get short-term gratification? What would we buy? Bullpen arms?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to trade off what is right now a top 5 farm system in baseball to get temporary bullpen help. I'm not buying it. I'd rather rock in, get beat in the wild card, and get bounced, and just say, "Hey, good season, boys," than buy at the deadline.
A couple picks and a prospect for some bullpen arms.
I don't want to trade anybody in that farm right now. They're all like, that is a special farm group now.
Well, you know better than I do. Do they have relievers coming up in the bullpens or in the farm system?
Well, you have Kelvin Gastelum, and we won't call him up. I don't get it. You know what? I will give grace to the front office. They sent Nolan Gorman down to AAA. They're trying to be proactive. I will give them grace.
I think a team that should not be a buyer at the deadline is the White Sox.
I don't think they should.
That's the team that I think is more do not buy at the deadline. Keep your long-term vision. I think the Cardinals, with as much as they've exceeded expectations this year, I think try to keep some momentum rolling.
Nah, they're young. They're young. They need another year.
Like one bullpen arm?
No, like they paid enough bullpen arms this offseason. You got to get some production out of those guys. Ryan Stanek hasn't been the greatest. Like he had a great month, and then he just wasn't amazing. But I if I'm the Cardinals, I stick to long-term vision. Maybe sell off some of your guys. Maybe sell off like O'Reilly O'Brien. Maybe sell off like a Dustin May. Dustin May's in a really fascinating situation because now you got people wanting to extend him long-term, and I'm like, I don't know if off a half a season of Dustin May if I want to go long-term on that, but. For a $10 million guy, hey, maybe he goes and gets paid in free agency. Maybe you can ship him off for some picks. I think that's the situation you go into because Dustin May's been really awesome, and he's better than even I thought he would be. I thought he was going to be like a 4 ERA guy, and maybe he was going to give you some value, and he's been right around that. But he's been really awesome, trending upwards.
So there's our look around the diamond on the MLB side of things. Sitting down with us here in studio is the Almanac, Jeff Moats. We'll be with him in just a moment. Stick with us. We're going to take a break, and when we return, we get a prep baseball update. Well, I guess a Legion baseball update from the Almanac, the one, the only Jeff Moats.
Justice, if you had to guess on National League Rookie of the Year odds right now, who do you think's the favorite?
Got to be JJ.
Yeah,
got to be JJ. Right behind him has to be Sal Seward.
Yep.
And then Connor Griffin's going to be up there somewhere.
Somebody's climbing up the ranks that you missed. You said his name earlier. He's raking right now. San Francisco.
Oh, Bryce Eldridge.
Yeah. He's moved up to plus 850.
That's fire. Moats, do you need the link?
I got it.
Okay.
Just realized my phone battery is like down to 40%. Oh, I got to turn that down.
Shmooty did not leave his phone charger in here. Shame. What type of charger does your phone take?
This one.
Is that a Lightning or a USB-C?
Whatever that is. I don't know.
You want to try that?
No, that's not it.
That's not it?
No, it's an iPhone.
It's a Lightning, yeah.
It's a Lightning.
So the iPhone has switched now because I have iPhone, but I can still plug in.
Oh, you have the USB-C? Yeah, I have a Lightning still. I have a 12.
Yeah.
My 12 works great.
Since Mozi's here, what are our thoughts on South Africa and Czechia?
I haven't been paying attention, fellas.
Since Mozi's here, what are his thoughts on the Cubs being horrible to watch?
Well, it seems about right at this time of the year, I suppose, after a hot start.
Give me the Czech Republic, by the way.
Against who?
South Africa.
And by the way,
should be fun.
How about my pick for the CWS so far?
Mm-hmm.
Remember we talked about Friday? Everybody was getting on the West Virginia bandwagon. I'm like, hey, man, watch out for Oklahoma.
Hey, I said it too.
OU.
Just saying. I didn't think they would hit the ball like this, but
they're hitting the ball. But, North Carolina's pretty legit too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be a fun championship series.
To quote the ever great Mike Riley, I just hope both teams have fun. Let's go get ice cream and sprinkles after.
They were saying some stats on the broadcast last night that coming into regional play or something like that, Oklahoma was 130th in home runs in the country, and now going into the finals, they are like 15th or 20th.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, they jumped 100 spots.
And they were, what, 14 and 16 in SEC play.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're playing for a national championship. So what does that tell you? You got to play good baseball at the right time and get hot.
Mm-hmm.
If you catch lightning in a bottle, go with it.
We'll talk Coach K Peterson tournament here.
Yeah, and then the Nebraska Athletic Hall of Fame. I don't know if you guys saw that. They released the inductee information.
Ooh.
So I'll have that. I'll have to make it short and sweet because of the reads going on right now.
We'll get you.
Yeah, and I got to get because I got to get news ready for 11. Yep. Busy morning, fellas.
We'll have you up by 10:45.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Welcome back into the morning hookup. Bill Hook's out. It's Elijah Herbal, YZ, Justice Rhodey, and now sitting down in studio, the Almanac, Jeff Moats. Joining us on a Thursday. There will be no show on your Juneteenth Friday, so we are off tomorrow morning. That's why we got Jeff Moats sitting down with us today. Moatsy, how you doing?
Hanging in there, just busy, trying to get a few things taken care of in the news this morning. Other sports stuff happening. A lot of things kind of moving at the same time. It's very busy for a Thursday morning.
Well, quick segment here with Moatsy, Justice.
Moatsy, I'll give you $5 if you can name that song I just played.
That is
just based off the guitar riff.
Yeah.
I can give you the artist.
It's I should know this. Oh, I'm gonna hate myself.
Would you like a hint?
Give me a hint.
It's Joe Walsh.
Oh yeah, it was one of the Eagles. I just couldn't remember which one it was, but yeah, it's Joe Walsh, and I can't remember the name of the song.
Rocky Mountain Way.
Rocky Mountain Way.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
not to be confused with Rocky Mountain High.
No, see, Elijah got it. It's Rocky Mountain Way. That's a good song.
Man, and you know what? I'm not living up to my nickname.
That's sports, though. That's sports.
No, that's a lot of things.
Let's talk some sports, though, as we do have a big sports weekend coming up at the Legion baseball level. This is the Coach K Peterson tournament.
It's actually next weekend.
Next weekend.
It's next weekend. I know. I got a little ahead of myself on this, but I didn't have a chance to get out and go cover baseball this week just because of all the other stuff happening around town news-wise and so forth. But they do have the pairings out for the Mike Peterson, Coach K, Lincoln Legion coaches tournament that will take place next. Let's see, it's next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they will have. It looks like they're going to play at 3 locations: Sandhills Complex, Sherman Field, and Den Hartog Field. I mean, all are great facilities. All have field turf. So if the weather does become an issue next weekend, that it should not dampen things, so to speak, and let games get underway. But you got everybody in town that's going to participate, from Pinnacle Bank of Lincoln Southwest, the Lincoln Hotel Group with Lincoln Standing Bear, Carpetland of Lincoln East, Anderson Ford of Lincoln North Star, Union Bank of Pius X. You got Sagewell or Sagewell Orthopedics of Lincoln Northwest. You got Judd's Brothers of Lincoln Northeast, J.C. Bragger of Lincoln Southeast among the teams, Union Bank of Pius X. You got Norris, you got Empire Netting and Fence of Waverly. Those are the area teams of note that are participating. And I believe Sampson Construction of Lincoln High is in there someplace. I'm not sure. I know they're not. I don't see them on the pool list of the teams, but they're going to start at 10 a.m. on the 25th, which is next Thursday, and then they'll go at 10, 12:30, 3, 5:30, and 7:30 those nights, and then they'll do it again on Friday. They'll do it again Saturday. Sunday, they'll play the league championship of the national division at 11 o'clock, and then the 1:30 American Division championship, and then the championship game will be at 4. Those will be played over at the Sandhills Complex on Sunday, but every other place in town will be either at Den Hartog, Sherman, or at Sandhills. And, you know, that comes in handy considering with the Sandhills complex, you got an artificial surface to where you don't have to worry about if it does rain, that the natural surface has to dry out. The old days of the agri-lime that they would use on the infield, the quick dry or whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of the bonus about that. But this will bring in teams from around the state. You got Bellevue West in town, Grand Island, Elkhorn South, Papillion La Vista South, Sioux Falls West out of South Dakota. You've got Elkhorn North, Kearney is going to be in town, Papillion La Vista, Gretna East, Sioux Falls East among the teams that will be in town next week for the Mike Peterson, Coach K, Lincoln Legion Coaches Tournament. For many years, it was known as the 4th of July tournament because they would play it 4th of July weekend. And that's changed over time. It was renamed after Mike Peterson, who was a former baseball player and athlete at Lincoln Northeast and a coach at both Northeast and Lincoln East in multiple sports from football and baseball, and passed away at the age of 27 back in, hard to believe it'll be 30 years ago this October. And I knew Pete. His dad and my dad were teammates in basketball and baseball in high school at Northeast, and Pete was larger than life, very animated. He was, I equated him as kind of a live cartoon character, very, very funny, very down to earth. He cared about kids. He cared about, making kids successful. And that also carried on too with Coach K, Doug Kaltenberger, who was the head baseball coach for many years at Lincoln Southwest. He was also the head coach at Lincoln Northeast and assistant coach in basketball at Northeast for many years too, and as a Lincoln Southeast alum. And their influence on baseball in this town carried a great distance. And, a lot of great players played for those two coaches. And it just seems fitting for their influence and their involvement in baseball in this town that they renamed the tournament after them. And so it's always been a big draw. I remember many years ago, they were bringing teams from Colorado. They bring in teams from Missouri, Oklahoma. I mean, they would go reach out to these teams to come in and play, and it was a big deal. And this is back when they only essentially had Sherman Field, and then Den Hartog came along. They added that, and then for a few years, they even utilized the old Buck Belzer Field to play games for that tournament. So it's the mid-season tournament that they have here in Lincoln every year.
One of the biggest in the state,
in the baseball scene. It really is. And I know there's a lot of other big tournaments that they have, like the wood bat tournaments they have. I think there's one up in Wakefield that they do every year where some teams go up and play, and that's a big, big deal there too. But this is one of the bigger tournaments you're going to find of the summer, and it usually marks the middle point where you're going to see the season roll to a close and go in toward area tournament play, and then we got state tournament play, all that. State this year, I believe, is going to be at Elkhorn North, and the other one's out at Kearney for Class A for Legion Ball. So, yeah. So we're about the halfway point of the regular season, fellas, and this tournament kind of puts us at that point and takes us over that proverbial hump, moving down slope into the final part of the summer for baseball.
So with this conglomeration of talent come together, Mozi, is there any team, any individuals in particular that you're keeping an eye on as they come into town for what is going to be a major gathering of collection of talent around the state?
Some of the teams from Sioux Falls in recent years that they've brought in have been pretty stacked with some good players. The other teams that you see coming in from out in Nebraska, Grand Island, I think will be, Home Federal's always had a very good Legion program out there. They could come in and make a statement. And then you look at the Class B area teams like Norris and Waverly. They've had some solid teams in recent years. The Lincoln schools, or the Lincoln teams, I should say, in this case, you can't count them out. The Metro schools that are there with Papillion La Vista South, Bellevue West, Elkhorn South, Elkhorn North. You never can rule them out either. And even Gretna East, for that matter, being a team that could be a legitimate team that emerges out in pool play and, could have a solid record moving forward and playing in one of those division championships. But it's hard to say because I haven't had a chance to see all these teams this summer. I've seen a few already. I can tell you, Pinnacle Bank and Carpet Land are still pretty good teams that we saw during the spring that have carried over into the summer. They've lost some guys because of graduation or have moved on, to get ready for the next level in college. So I'm sure it wouldn't surprise me to see a Carpet Land or a Pinnacle Bank be among those teams that would be probably playing for that tournament championship on Sunday.
Let's see, before we get you out of here, we also have the 2026 NSAA Hall of Fame inductees.
Yes, this just came down from the Nebraska Athletic Department. They have got some familiar names of note. Dean Steinkuhler, who...
the Nebraska Athletic Hall of Fame.
The Nebraska Athletic Hall of Fame. So Dean Steinkuhler being one of them. In more recent years, Taylor Edwards in softball. Amber Holmquist, who was on the 2000 National Championship volleyball team, among them. And head coach John Cook, also on there for his long career as a head coach at Nebraska for volleyball. And Matt Hopper in baseball. He was among the power hitters of those two College World Series teams they had in 2001 and 2002. Great ball player, good first baseman, good power hitter. Those are among the names that are going to be inducted. There are a few other athletes as well. They will be honored in a ceremony, an induction that will happen on October 2nd. That's a Friday afternoon. And then they'll be recognized during halftime of the Nebraska-Maryland football game on October 3rd at Memorial Stadium. I believe that is that homecoming. That is homecoming as well. So that was just announced as that will be the 2026 class going into the Nebraska Athletic Hall of Fame later this year.
Awesome, Motzi. It's the Almanac. Jeff Moats with us here, a Thursday edition of the Morning Hookup. Do we have time for some?
If you've got a trivia question, I'll take it because really quick, and then I got to bolt out and head back to the newsroom.
We'll just let it ride. We'll get trivia next week. It's not a True Friday, Do you have one, Justice?
Oh, I mean, yeah. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the show, but Motzi, on the last 10 College World Series winners, can you tell me how many of them were SEC schools?
Well, there was Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm. This is dating back to 2016, just so we're aware.
I'm gonna say 4.
It's 8.
8 out of the last 10.
8.
8 out of the last 10.
The only exceptions were
Coastal Carolina,
Oregon State,
and Oregon State.
I was gonna let him guess.
So everybody else was SEC. So you had Ole Miss, Mississippi State,
LSU twice,
Tennessee, Vanderbilt. How could I forget about Vanderbilt in those hideous uniforms?
Yeah, they may have been hideous uniforms, but they did some hideous things.
No, I know.
Did we say Mississippi State in there?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
we're missing one still. Florida.
That's right. Okay. Now, all right. Now I'm remembering.
Yeah. It's been a run of dominance for the SEC. We'll see what North Carolina can do this weekend. Motzi, thank you. Appreciate your time here with us this morning.
You bet.
You can get rocking back in the newsroom.
Yep. Have a good sports weekend, fellas.
There he goes. The Almanac, Jeff Moats, a Thursday edition of the Morning Hookup. We'll step aside. We'll wrap up the show with some stories that we missed after this.
All right.
Much needed. Thank you, Motzi.
With some stories that we missed, is this because we got about 7 minutes left. Do we want to hit a little Big Ten win totals here?
Yeah, with that, we'll hit Sorsby and his agent going scorched earth on Cincinnati. That's
Do we still have that audio clip from yesterday?
Probably. I don't know. I haven't been in there.
I don't know. I just left it on the other window, so if you shut it down, it's okay. I'll see if I can just pull it off Twitter again. I'm gonna pull a ridiculous pull here for the final segment. Twitter too.
If you don't have the audio, it's okay. We can still talk about.
I think I should be able to get it. This shouldn't take that long. You jerk. Let me do this. I never meant to be so bad to you. Got the Cartman clip of that is hilarious, by the way.
That's him in front of Congress, right?
Yeah. He's like, I know one thing that could bring us all together. He just starts singing Heat of the Moment. That's one of the great South Park clips of all time.
Oh, yeah. That and then the Catholic Church, the Muslims, and the Jewish people all coming together with Van Halen.
And Timmy.
Timmy.
All right, audio's pulled. We're good.
When Timmy tries to make it into the Special Olympics.
No, brother.
Does all the steroids. Classic.
All right, here we go.
One final time here, a Thursday edition of the Morning Hookup, wrapping up the week with the Morning Hookup as we will be off tomorrow morning in honor of Juneteenth. A good time, though, before we get you out. How much time we got on the clock here? About 6 minutes?
Yeah, we're good.
Let's get some stories that we missed.
The stories we missed. The Morning Hookup.
I've been kind of previewing this all show long, where we'll kick off. Brendan Sorsby's agent speaking on 105.3 The Fan yesterday. That is a station out of, I believe, Dallas, Texas.
Yes, it is.
Saying Cincinnati knew about Brendan Sorsby's gambling. Here's the quote. For 2 years and never said anything or didn't do anything about it. That's the part of the story that gets lost. Fellas, is Cincinnati going to be getting in trouble for this as well? Or is it now just let bygones be bygones?
I think Cincinnati needs to get a little heat for this. I think Cincinnati is not, we kind of alluded to this in our other show locally, the Average Joe Sports Show here on KFOR, but we'd alluded to this and we had kind of talked about it. We kicked it around behind the scenes. Hey, Cincinnati's not completely squeaky clean in all this. Lo and behold, Brendan Sorsby's agent has completely, put the parchment paper out there and let it burn with all of the goodwill that is there with Cincinnati and let everybody know, hey, they still have a part to play with all this. It's not just Indiana and Texas Tech.
Yeah. If they knew and they didn't report anything, they are just as liable in this entire situation as Texas Tech is for trying to play a guy. Now, does the NCAA have any teeth to levy any sanctions on Cincinnati? Probably not. But if you go back 10 years, Cincinnati would have gotten a reduction in scholarships. They would have gotten a bowl ban. This would have been significant stuff. The problem being, what can the NCAA enforce anymore? Cincinnati will just take the NCAA to court and probably win based on how the history is going. So I don't think we'll see any real punishment for Cincinnati, but there should be. There should be. If it is confirmed that they knew that Brendan Sorsby had gambling issues and did nothing about it, either A, getting him help, or B, self-reporting violations, there should be hell to pay. But there won't be, because it's college sports in 2026.
We do have the audio, though.
Feel free. So this is Brendan Sorsby's agent speaking on 105.3 The Fan yesterday.
You have to be careful of some things just because of all the people involved. And the people I feel worse for, besides Brendan, is Texas Tech. And I know they might have, I think where they messed up was they talked too much. But nobody knew any of this about Brendan. Nobody knew when he was in the portal this was happening. I mean, Brendan probably should have gone in the draft in January, right, if we would have known, but nobody knew. So the people at Tech have been great, very supportive. Joy McGuire, I think, is one of the best human beings on the planet. He's a lot of head coaches are transactional. He is not. And they didn't do anything wrong here. If anybody should be questioned or be catching heat, it should be Cincinnati, because they knew for 2 years and never said anything and didn't do anything about it. So yeah, that's the part of the story that gets lost.
So there is Brendan Sorsby's agent. The direct quote on Cincinnati knowing about all of the gambling allegations. If there's somebody to trust in that, it's probably the agent. But we'll see if there's any true evidence that can implicate Cincinnati, or if it's just one man's word against an athletic department. We shall see.
Yeah.
Justice, I know we also have some Big Ten win totals.
We had some Big Ten win totals that got issued by On3 and their betting partner, and BetMGM. So all of those came out. Some notable ones to note: Ohio State over under 9.5. Nebraska, they have situated at over under 6.5. So even if you hit the under, they still think the Cornhuskers could have a possibility of bowl eligibility, but 6.5, that's down a win, if you'll remember, from 7.5 last year for Nebraska. And that's kind of where everything is situated. So we can kind of go through the win totals a little bit more, but immediately as it stands out, anybody that you guys are buying the immediate over on?
Let's start with Ohio State, because you see 9.5 and on its face, you think Ohio State's not going to finish with 9 wins. But you look at their schedule, they are at Texas. That is the second week of the season, Saturday, September 12th. You look at their Big Ten schedule, pretty tough. Starts off not horrible, but we'll see what kind of toughness they have as they start off home against Illinois, then at Iowa. Easiest game on the schedule, I think, is home against Maryland for them. And then look at this run. At Indiana, at USC, home against Oregon, and then you're home against Northwestern. So that's a nice spot for that in November. And then at Nebraska, home against Michigan. That schedule is brutality. Now, it's Ohio State. If any team can make it through that schedule with 10 or 11 wins in the conference, it would be Ohio State. But you can find at USC, tough cross-country road trip. That could be a loss. Oregon could be a loss. Indiana could be a loss. Texas could be a loss. And boom, right there, you're at 8-4. Not to mention Michigan. That's always a toss-up game. Now, I don't think Ohio State's going to finish 7-5 or 8-4. They're going to get a couple of these wins. But 9.5 feels right whenever you look at that. Mm-hmm. But if any team could run the gauntlet on that schedule, with the talent they have, it's Ohio State.
Yeah, I feel confident also on the Wisconsin under 6.5. I feel pretty confident about that. I know they may have a little bit easier of a run. I just don't know with that talent if they've got more than 6 wins in them. With Ohio State, I'd still be pretty confident on taking the over. I mean, they've got plenty of talent. There's a lot to replace, but first-time play caller, also an Arthur Smith coming down from the NFL level. That's going to be an interesting wrinkle with what they want to do with that offense and all the talent they have on board. But I'd still feel pretty confident in Ohio State getting over that mark and getting to 10 wins at least.
Does Michigan State, Pat Fitzgerald in his first year, does he take them over 4.5 wins?
I think so.
I'm going to say no. I don't think they have enough talent on that roster. He may be a great coach. I don't think it's for them this year.
I don't think they get to bowl eligibility, but I think 5 is there for the taking for them. We'll see. The divisive ones that I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on, they're all sitting around that 6.5, 7.5. Northwestern 5-5. Can they get to bowl eligibility under David Braun?
Absolutely. That guy's a monster.
How about Minnesota at 6.5?
Yeah, PJ will find a way.
I kind of feel the same way. UCLA at 6.5.
I'll take the under in Chesney's first year.
I'm feeling under on that one as well. I don't think they get to bowl eligibility.
Good coach though.
Last one, I think is quite interesting. How about Michigan at 8.5?
I will take the under in Witt's first year. I am not sold on Bryce Underwood and this new offense, but hey, they've got a great new offense coordinator coming over from Utah.
We'll get more thoughts on the Big Ten win totals this afternoon on the Average Joe Sports Show. Check us out 4 to 6. Elijah Herbal, myself, Justice Rhodey, and Chris Schmidt. That'll do it for us in the Morning Hookup. We'll talk to you on Monday.